The Lincoln Project acknowledges former President Donald Trump. Now that he is no longer in office, he will finally have the time to do the things that make him happiest. We at the Lincoln Project are confident that Trump understands his position. Elon Musk is often regarded as wealthier and more influential, with a successful social media platform and business ventures. Meanwhile, President Musk can focus on leading his enterprises while Trump remains engaged in his preferred activities. Picture this: Trump sitting in his Mar-a-Lago bedroom, phone in hand, growing increasingly frustrated as he watches the latest Lincoln Project ad. His finger hovers over the post button, emotions rising as the ad highlights his electoral losses. Meanwhile, Melania is in another part of the residence, reacting to events in her own way. The Lincoln Project didn't just release an ad, it was a direct critique of Trump's political legacy. Before we move on, we'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of viewers watch without subscribing. It costs you nothing but makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you. Now back to the video. Just imagine Trump flipping through TV channels at Mar-a-Lago, only to see himself being described in ways he strongly dislikes. The ad challenges his public image, emphasizing key criticisms. Trump and Musk both have their supporters and detractors, but the Lincoln Project remains focused on its mission. The message highlights issues of governance, ethical concerns, and past political decisions. Critics argue that some past actions, such as controversial pardons or rhetoric surrounding elections, have been problematic. The Lincoln Project continues its efforts, believing that political accountability is crucial for the country's future. This wasn't just any political ad, it was designed to directly challenge Trump's carefully crafted persona. The Lincoln Project, composed of former Republican strategists, understands the political landscape well. Figures like Steve Schmidt and Rick Wilson have transitioned from supporting Republican campaigns to opposing Trump, leveraging their strategic knowledge. Rather than using traditional political messaging, the ad employs a more personal and psychological approach. It juxtaposes moments from Trump's public appearances in a way designed to provoke a reaction. The campaign aims to portray him as politically weakened while reinforcing its own narrative about leadership and governance. Strategically, the ad was placed in media markets where Trump is likely to see it, including Washington, D.C., and Palm Beach, ensuring it reaches its intended audience. The production quality reflects professional political advertising standards, crafted to maximize its impact. The Lincoln Project continues to use its platform to challenge Trump's political influence, using messaging tactics designed to resonate with audiences critical of his tenure. Their approach is sharp, targeted, and built on their deep understanding of modern political dynamics. Sources close to Mar-a-Lago suggest that Trump's reaction to a recent ad was intense, as it challenged the strong public persona he has carefully cultivated. Witnesses claim that he appeared visibly upset while watching the ad, which was created by a group of former Republican allies who have since become some of his most vocal critics. Unlike attacks from political opponents or the media, which Trump often dismisses as partisan rhetoric, this criticism reportedly came from individuals who had previously supported him, those familiar with his leadership style and political strategies. Meanwhile, reports indicate that Melania Trump also had a strong reaction to the situation. Observers describe her as typically composed, maintaining a careful balance between supporting her husband publicly and preserving her own identity. However, sources suggest that the ad may have disrupted this dynamic, leading to visible frustration behind closed doors. The event comes at a time when Melania is reportedly working to establish her own independent projects and redefine her public image. The renewed media focus on the couple has sparked discussions about their public and private lives, adding another layer of scrutiny to an already high-profile political landscape. Embarrassing moments resurfaced for all to see. Whether it was the mention of legal troubles or the realization that the criticism wasn't just another media attack, but rather came from former allies, the impact was immediate. These were individuals who had once stood alongside Trump, people with deep knowledge of his inner circle. The consequences were swift. Reports indicate that Trump and Melania are now residing in separate areas of the Mar-a-Lago estate. Their living arrangements are said to be so distant that visiting each other might require a golf cart. For a couple that has long projected an image of unity, this physical separation suggests underlying tension. Meanwhile, Trump took to Truth Social in a late-night posting spree. In the early hours of the morning, when most would be asleep, he was busy responding to critics in all-caps posts. His frustration was apparent, particularly in his attacks on the Lincoln Project, a group founded by former Republican strategists. His posts, filled with familiar insults, seemed to reflect a man deeply affected by the criticism. The more he insisted he wasn't bothered, the clearer it became that the messages had struck a nerve. Even some conservative commentators noted the reaction as excessive. Political analysts pointed out why this particular attack may have hit harder than others. The Lincoln Project isn't made up of Democrats or traditional opponents. It's run by former Republican insiders who understand his vulnerabilities. Their strategy appeared to be simple: provoke a reaction and let Trump's response amplify their message. Why the next morning, his posts were still rolling in, and analysts were already declaring the Lincoln Project's tactic a success. Rather than simply running an ad, they had seemingly orchestrated a situation where Trump's own response became the focal point.